So I said I was gonna do a breakup video. Well, not a breakup video, a breakup advice video. One that's more generalized, caters to a more general audience, able to give advice to a more general field. Not gonna do that today. I said I was gonna do it yesterday or the day before. The next video. I said the next video like 2 videos ago. But I don't think I'm quite in that mindset. So when I make a video, when I make a vlog, one of these vlogs, I look through the list of the notes that I already have and determine what I really want to talk about. Because if it's not something that I'm passionate to talk about, what's the point of even making a vlog for it? You could say the vlog, I mean, a big part of the vlog obviously is to enhance my verbal fluency, but it's also a passion project. I shouldn't be forcing myself to do it. And so if I don't want to make a vlog on a particular subject, then I'm not going to. That's not to say that I don't want to make a vlog on this. It's more to say that I want to make a vlog about I have a higher affinity to make a vlog about something else. I would rather make a vlog about this particular subject rather than breakup right now. Like my mood does not support breakup advice currently. But but tomorrow I'll be more in that mindset, more with the intention that going in that I'm going to make a vlog about breakup advice tomorrow. And throughout the day I'll be thinking about it and garnering more advice, maybe even asking people honestly, getting their input, seeing what they think. That leaves me with today's vlog. Today will be thoughts for default. I just wrote, so for this one, I just wrote a bunch of things that I was just thinking about throughout. So this was back in December 4th, 2024. It is currently March 17th. So I've had 3 months of just putting random thoughts. This was basically my miscellaneous notes. I just put a one line, and then the next line is completely unrelated. Next line, unrelated. So I'll just go through those really quickly, and there's quite a few. So I think ideally this would be under a 20-minute video. I always say that though. We'll see how it goes. That's the goal. Under 20 minutes is the goal, and I will make it this time. I will. Right. So, guy who lost Bitcoin in junkyard, 600 million pounds. 600 million pounds. Oh, right. Okay. So there was this story of a guy who lost his Bitcoin hard drive, the hard drive that contained his Bitcoin. Okay. First off, how does that even make sense? Isn't Bitcoin virtual? How can a hard drive contain it? Bitcoin. Well, the hard drive didn't physically contain Bitcoin. It contained the keys to the Bitcoin, and the keys to the Bitcoin are ridiculously uncrackable. So they basically, what it essentially means is they contain the keys that are impossible to crack in the hard drive, and now it's in a junkyard. And it's 600 million British pounds. So not not like physical weighing pounds. It's the currency. That's how much he lost. Because he was an early adopter of Bitcoin. I think he mined Bitcoin. So he got a bunch of Bitcoin really early on. And then his ex-wife? Yeah, his ex-wife. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Accidentally threw it out, or threw it out without telling him, or he accidentally did. It's not too clear. I mean, he's really the main source of where we're going to get this information, at least the news, where the news gets the information. So obviously he's going to be biased and say none of it was my fault. But it could have been that he threw it out and it was his fault. We don't know that though. It's said that his wife didn't know what it was and she just threw it out, which is also possible too though. I won't close the door on that opportunity. I won't refuse that option. But it makes you think. So he started a lawsuit. Basically, the story goes he started a lawsuit against the city because he wanted access to the junkyard and he couldn't get access to the junkyard. The city wouldn't let him. Okay, so now he files a lawsuit. Okay, he didn't win the lawsuit. Now he's trying to buy the junkyard. And they denied him from buying the junkyard as well. So no matter what, he's lost it. And this is an ongoing thing. I think this was back in 2022 even. It might have been. No, I feel like this is a recent development. But this has consumed a big part of his resources and his life. I mean, okay, maybe not a big part of his life in terms of time span, but in terms of how much has impacted him. I mean, think about that. You've lost, you had the chance of having, you had 6 million pounds. You had like, what's pounds to Canadian? Probably around double. Round double? Yeah, like 100. You had, oh damn. Yeah, you had like almost 1 billion Canadian? Wow. Wow. Ouch. Oh man, that's rough. I think Drake's net worth is 300 million? Yeah, around there, 350 million. So, and Drake owns multiple houses, multiple properties. He hands out, I remember seeing this video, he handed out money to people on the street, like 1K, like a large sum of money, or maybe it was just 100, 500. But still, like that's a lot of money. He like you know how rappers just go about their lives. They live lavishly and they have money to spend still from that. Like 600 mil is a ridiculous amount of money. So now he's gonna chastise himself for the rest of his life just because he lost that money. And it would have been better if he had never had that money in the first place. Because now it's kind of like the sunk cost fallacy. He has to pursue it. Even if there's a 0.001 chance that he gets this, he retrieves it. The fact that he had it in the first place, is what makes this loss so devastating. We have this loss aversion where we feel losses twice as hard as we feel gains. You can see this in classic example is cars when you're driving on the highway and there's a damn it traffic jam and you don't know which lane to go through or which lane to choose. And you choose one and then you see people passing, people going past you. So you switch to that lane and then you see every other lane passing you. It's a psychological thing. I mean, sometimes it actually does happen where you're unlucky and you end up choosing the worst lane every single time. But it's so unlikely. What's more likely is that you are seeing your losses way more than you're seeing what you're actually gaining. Like somebody else in the lane beside you is seeing you pass them. They're saying, well, I should have switched to that lane. And then they switch to that lane while you switch to the other lane. Objectively, what I like to do is track one car. So if I see a white car, well, no, I look at the license plate. So I keep a mental note of the license plate. And then if I see that license plate again or see that same make of car and the license plate adds another layer of identifier. So if I see that car again, then I'm like, oh, okay, they did actually catch up to me. It wasn't just my imagination. Or I never saw that car again. So I must have done better. Like constantly upgrading the checkpoint too. So I take a note of this car and then this car and then this car if I keep on passing. So lesson from that Let's abstract that completely. Yeah, like you can abstract that pretty far. Just don't. Just because you're. Hmm. There's different ways to go about it. Just because you're privileged doesn't mean you have the right to those things. Hmm. There's a thought in my mind, but I don't really know how to put it into words. I think the closest thing is sunk cost fallacy. Keep that in mind. Okay, already at 11 minutes. Spent way too much time on that one. Like 15 more, 10 more to go. Okay. Hard to say bye on call. Right. Oh my. Yes, this is so true for me. So on Discord, I call, okay, so I have Discord, obviously. Obviously. A computer scientist without Discord? Huh? Impossible. And I find it every time I call one of my friends, or even just on the phone too, every time I call, it's very hard for me to say bye. Well, no, Discord even more because you're playing a game, you're enjoying yourself, and you don't want to stop. You've been enjoying this game, you've been enjoying talking with this person, hanging out with this person, and it becomes very hard to end that call. And I used to have this problem way earlier. Okay, and it's only a problem because at some point you realize you shouldn't be on that call anymore. You have things to do, and you're in that call just because you feel like it could be a bit better. Like you, if you mined a bit more, you'd find the diamonds. That's the analogy that I'll give. But there are no diamonds to be found. You've already mined all the diamonds in that area. It's just better if you stop. And this is what scrolling is too. You find a ridiculously funny reel, and then you keep on scrolling because you want to find an equally or even better funnier reel, a more funnier reel. But you never end up doing. So you just keep on scrolling. You just keep on scrolling. And then you find one that is really funny. And then you're like, okay, I need one that's even more funny than this. And all of them are trash. So that's what it's like. And starting to be conscious of this, being conscious of this really helps. One thing that's really helped me, and this is in social situations, I'm not getting under 20 minutes for this video, but it doesn't matter. In social situations, this happens too. So this isn't just on call. This is in when I'm meeting up with friends and it feels like the party's kind of ended. But I don't want to leave. Something special could happen. Something enjoyable could happen. I don't want to leave yet. I don't want to miss out. FOMO. Yeah, that's a good way of articulating what this is, of placing a name to this. So, FOMO. And what I've realized after experience, after multiple occasions of this, is once you get that gut feeling that nothing interesting is going to happen after this, it's time to leave. And you do get that slight impulse that like, maybe I should stay because something interesting might happen. If you're only staying for the prospect of something that might happen, you shouldn't stay. You should be enjoying it currently, not hoping to enjoy it later on. That goes for a lot of things. But I'll leave you with that. And okay, not leave you completely because I have 9 more things. Spotify Wrapped soon. This was in December 4th, 2024. So Spotify Wrapped released, of course. And yeah, that actually caused a bit of problems because now, see, I could yap forever. I don't know why I put that. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about Spotify Wrapped. Spotify Wrapped is such a good conversation starter. When it's December, you can literally say to anyone, you can approach girls with Spotify Wrapped. That's how confident I am that Spotify Wrapped can carry. And it's interesting too because everyone loves talking about their music taste. And they're proud of it too. They're proud of their hours, how many minutes they spend on Spotify, how many minutes they listen on Spotify. That's why you see people posting on their stories. I mean, I post on my stories too, but I want to post not because to show my hours, maybe a little bit like I have a little bit of an ego with that, but it's more just I want people to know my music tastes. And if I find someone similar who enjoys Juice World, then it'd be cool to relate with them. And if I see someone with Juice World, for example, on their story, then I'll message them and say, "Hey, Juice World too," and then they'll see my story and Juice World #1 artist, and we'll be like, "Yeah, Juice World, woo," and then continue talking from there. It's a good conversation starter. Speaking of Juice World, stupid little Bibby ruining Juice World album with his own DJ Khaled tags. When the new Juice World album released, The Party Never Ends. Was that? No, it was called The Party, wasn't it? Whoa. No, it was The Party Never Ends. Yeah, it was The Party Never Ends. All of his songs had some intro. Well, not all the songs, but the songs had some stupid intro with Little Bibby. And even during the song, Little Bibby was shouting his name like DJ Khaled. And yeah, whoops. I accidentally turned on Spotify for a second. Oh well. Stupid tags and just saying things in general, just like shouting his name when he didn't have to. And at the end of there was this one song where there's this outro, this stupid outro of him peeing in a stall, and then they're banging on the stall door, and it's like why do I want to hear that? Why would you put that in? And it's the last Juice World album. It should be the best Juice World album. Like this is the last one we're gonna get, and you ruin it like that. Really, man? Like it just shows that he was so egocentrical, arrogant. Like everything revolved around stupid little Bibby. Like what is that name even? Okay. Next. Yesterday I just worked on frags the whole day. So this was not December 4th. These were spaced out intermittently throughout weeks and months, right? So until now. So there was one day where I just worked on fragrances the whole day. And by that I mean I looked at the fragrances, I looked at the notes, I looked at fragrances that I might like, that I'm interested in, that I'd like to order, that I'd like to smell and determine whether I actually do like them, fragrances that I assume that I would like. So I actually ordered 17 samples. I think I mentioned this. I did. I ordered 17 samples, and that's part of the research that I did that day, we'll say. But it's also just looking at fragrances that are really popular and then looking at their clone, their dupe counterparts, and seeing what's the most similar, trying to optimize for the best one, the one that lasts the longest, the one that's the most similar. And all of that through research. You do that by looking at Fragrantica, looking at the reviews, looking at the stats. I enjoy it. I enjoy researching anyways. Not for school, but for fragrances apparently. I'll do that for a whole day. And I did that for basically a whole day. And then I did it the next day too. I did it for like half the day. I've been known to do that. Or I've been known by myself. I've been known by myself to do that. Yeah, I'm sure I've put a couple of hours, more than a couple of hours into it. And it's not that I'm not proud of it, it's just that it's a little weird, but I do enjoy it a lot. Oh no, we're reaching 20 minutes. Yesterday, yeah, okay. Balance between practice talking, which off puts people, and getting people to like you by letting them talk. I've met someone who I enjoy listening to talk. Like, I podcast, I'll be in the listening mode. So, I know what I meant. There's a balance between getting better at talking with other people and getting people to like you by letting them talk. So the balance comes because you can't just listen to people talk. You could, but then you don't get good at all at talking. And I used to be very good. I would say I'm very good at letting other people talk, just listening. I used to be way better, for sure. I would give no input. I just listen to people. There's a way to do it. Like I would just not talk and I would just completely listen. But by actively engaging, by saying yeah, nodding your head, and trying to actively engage, or showing that you're actively engaged, that's what I really mean by listening. And that's what a lot of people mean by listening. Even if you're truly listening, but you don't show that you're listening, it doesn't come off as listening, unfortunately. So when you talk to other people, well, okay. See, it's not black and white, so this isn't completely true in every scenario, but when you talk with people, it is worse than if you were to let them talk because people love talking, so they will enjoy more if they talk. But you want to get better at talking. So that's where the issue arises. And you can say, as I was saying, you can say, why not just let them talk the entire time? Well, you run into just being socially inept and not being able to talk well when you have to forge a conversation. But what's interesting, this is why I say it's not black and white. I've met someone, there's one person in particular that comes to mind that I actively enjoy listening to talk. It's like watching a YouTube video. It's like watching a podcast, listening to a podcast. And I'll just be in listening mode. And I'll be fine with it. I don't care about talking. He can talk all day and I'll be fine with it. And that's what's so strange. So, and I think there's only one person I've met like this. Yeah. And that's what if I talk, I want to be that person. I want to be so interesting that you want to listen to me and it's enjoyable for both of us because I'm having fun telling these stories and saying these things. But I want you to also enjoy listening, not just listening to me out of pity. Yeah, okay. I was debating whether to say this just now, but I have one friend who who um who watches the vlogs a lot, and he's likely to watch this one as well. Shout out to Hunter. And what I want to say is that I don't want people to watch my vlogs out of pity. I don't want, and you can extrapolate this further on, I don't want people to be friends with me out of pity. I want them to genuinely want to hang out with me, want to talk with me, want to watch my vlogs because they find value in this. And if I'm not providing value in this, don't give me pity by watching it. I want to learn, I want feedback, and I want to learn from this, and I want to genuinely improve. And I can't do that if people are pitying me by just giving me benefit, giving me affirmation, giving me validation. Yeah. But thank you, Hunter. I really appreciate my friend listening to my vlogs and commenting and just being active. But it wouldn't break my heart if he stopped, or if he didn't like one of my vlogs and he voiced that. The whole project of this is to improve. And I know I'm not perfect, and I know I'm not the most entertaining person to listen to. But that's why I want to do this. And criticism, I'm searching for criticism. I'm maybe not brutal criticism, but criticism nonetheless. And if it's brutal, then I'll accept it too. Okay, next one. I've been had another frag dream, Percival, but better. So basically what that means is I've had a bunch of fragrance dreams. I had January. I think it was January. Yes, it was January. I had like 4 fragrance dreams, or like 2 fragrance dreams in a week. Or maybe even 3 fragrance dreams in a week. So that's to show you how obsessed I am with fragrances. And one of my fragrance dreams was I smelled a fragrance. So I tried this fragrance in a store called Percival, Parfum de Marly Percival. And it was really good. It's a similar fragrance from Abercrombie & Fitch Fierce, and that one's similar to, or Mont Blanc Legend is also similar to that one. So if you know what one of them smells like, you likely know somewhat what the others smell like. So this is what Percival smells like, and I really liked it. And then I had this dream that I had another fragrance dream because I had one beforehand of, I can't remember what it was. I think I went to a store or something and I tried fragrances again. And the thing is, in fragrance dreams, you cannot smell the fragrance. This is really annoying because you can feel pain, you can feel things in dreams. You can like feel sensations in dreams, like burning and pushing and actual contact. But you cannot smell. And you can hear things too. You can say things, you can shout, but you can't smell. That's what's annoying. That's what's really annoying, because I want to smell the best fragrance in the world. In this dream, this fragrance was better than Percival. He was saying, this is a fragrance that I have that is better than Percival. And he hands it to me and he says, what do you think? So I try it and I can't smell it. No matter how many times I smell it, I'm nose blind. Oh, but you haven't smelled any fragrances. Why are you nose blind? Smell it again. You keep on smelling. No matter how much, you can't smell the fragrance. Little frustrating. No, man. As a fragrance enthusiast, it is very frustrating. But it's okay. That's how dreams be. So every time my fragrance dream ends up being something like along the lines of me pretending to like it. I know I'm gonna like it, and then he gives it to me and I try it, but I can't smell it, but I know I'll like it. I know I do like it, but I don't know what it smells like. And I miss out on that. But you miss out a lot in dreams. I mean, there's a lot of things that happen in dreams that you're like, man, I had $1 million. What happened to I had what's it, 600 million pounds, English pounds. What happened to it? It's in the junkyard. Okay, next. My friend had a mini portable store for frags and was busy when I asked to smell the one I wanted to for the longest time. Right. So there was that's basically it. My friend had a mini portable store. He had like this shop. And it was my classmate friend. So not super close, but close enough to ask him to smell a fragrance, for example. If he had this portable fragrance store. And when I he so I checked out all the fragrance that he had. It was like, how do I describe it? It was like two shelves, two bookshelves, but you could it was like a book opening, so you could open them like that, if if that makes any sense. Like, and then the two shelves where there were a bunch of fragrances on like each row, and then yeah, you could check out all the fragrances and everything. But it was massive. It was like probably twice his height. So, but it was portable somehow because it, I don't know, fit in his pocket or something, or like it was a trailer. I don't know. It's a dream. And so yeah, I asked this. I checked out his entire thing. He was just like, yeah, I have this portable thing, and he was just like doing whatever, looking at me, checking out the fragrances, and I I didn't want to spam like ask to smell every single fragrance. Because he's my friend and I'm not too close with him, and I want to smell the best one. But if there's like a mid tier or one that I don't know, I don't really care about that. I need to smell the best one. Like that's the one that I'm most interested on trying out. So there was one that I wanted to smell for the longest time. I think this was inspired by Amber Oud Aqua Dubai, which I now have the sample of, and I didn't like too much. I thought it would be the best fragrance I've ever tried, and I didn't like it too much. It's good, but no, is it really good? I didn't really like it, honestly. As far as colognes go, like it was, I would wear it if you gave it to me for free. I mean, most colognes I would wear it if you give it to me for free, but I wouldn't choose to buy it even for like $10. Like I just wouldn't buy it. It just wasn't that good. Like it was almost bad. It's hard to really describe. I think I rated it 6 out of 10. Is that should be a better indication on how I enjoyed it. So, all right, so I asked for my friend to try it, and yeah, he didn't let me. He was like, "Oh, well, I'm actually really busy. I gotta go. I can't right now." I'm like, no, I just wanted to try one, please. It's like, no, 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 I gotta go. Bye. See ya. Okay, next. Started making lo-fi. I'll buy FL Studio when it goes on sale. I want to make lo-fi. Yeah, I want to start making lo-fi. I haven't made lo-fi yet. I've been trying to make rap songs, rap instrumentals, but it's harder than it looks. Like I can get it, but then I don't know how to arrange music, and I don't know all the nuances to it. But as I keep on trying, as I keep on making them and watching YouTube videos, I'll learn better how to do it. But it's really tough to do it without a teacher. I asked ChatGPT. I didn't ask ChatGPT about arrangement though, but I could ask it about arrangement and all these nuances. It's generally pretty good at this. Anything that I need a tutor in, I generally transfer that assignment to ChatGPT. That payload, that task to ChatGPT. So I don't technically need tutors. I just need to know how to phrase the questions. But sometimes it's like, where do I put it? And you can't really, you can send a screenshot to ChatGPT, but I don't have premium, so you can't like spam screenshots. And it's just, it doesn't work the same as a human. Like someone who's really truly a professional in their field, they know when and where to break the rules. But ChatGPT is like, I don't know, you could do this, and you could also do this, and you could also do this. Especially with something like music, which is an art. There's no right way to do it. And there's one way I want to do it. I'd prefer to do it. I have a style. And a human would get that. But ChatGPT, it wouldn't understand my style. And I can't really verbalize it either, or write it into words, explain it. So that's its limitation. I mean, we all know ChatGPT has its limitations. Can't assume it's just a perfect tutor. Next, I want a son. I read that families with no sons are actually a bit disappointed. No, what's the father feels subconsciously lacking, like something's missing. So they'll this is a bit controversial. They'll keep on having babies until they have a son. The father wants at least one son. And I thought about this and I realize, you know what? I've never thought about having a daughter. Like when I've thought when I was younger, when I thought of having children, it was always a son. It was never a daughter. I was always thinking a son. I was thinking how cool it would be to have a mini me. It's like you can also have a mini me that's your female version, but it's like no, not quite. Because that wouldn't truly be a mini you though. At least for me. Me, you. I understand it. As a guy, you just want to have a son. Next, when I hosted Ryan at my house, I was very productive in the morning. Didn't look at my phone, just woke up and tackled the day. So I spoke about this earlier. When I was hosting someone at my house, when I was hosting my friend at my house, I was very productive in the morning because I didn't look at my phone. I didn't check my phone. I had to host him. So I just woke up and tackled the day, hosted him. So that's the advice that I give to be productive in the morning, to not look at your phone, is to pretend that you're hosting someone, that you have to get up quickly and you can't slack because you're hosting someone. Someone's in the kitchen waiting for you to serve them food or to play with them or to teach them something. And then you get on with your day. It also helps to not have your phone on your bed. I put my phone on the ground. That way I should be sitting up by the time I have my phone in my hand, and then I do my morning routine. And I still end up checking messages, which isn't great. Like I have a habit of just opening my phone in the morning. And maybe I should remove that habit, but it's also nice to check the news and just no, I shouldn't. I shouldn't because I have perplexity and I do learn quite a bit from perplexity, but I acknowledge that maybe I shouldn't use my phone at all in the mornings and just be completely productive. Oh well. We'll see how that goes. Reading The Game by Neil Strauss, really interesting. My goodness, it was so interesting. I finished it. I think I made a review. Please tell me I made a review. Please tell me. Did I not? I'll have to check if I made a review. If not, I'll make a video dedicated on that. I'm pretty sure I think I made a review I know for sure I made a review halfway in, but I don't know if I fully made a review on it and talked about it. I feel like I did. It was incredibly interesting. Highly recommend it. Yeah, I think I did because I said I highly recommend it. But that doesn't necessarily mean I finished it. Oh well. Great book. Um, Obviously about approaching girls. Well, not really approaching girls. It's more about picking up girls for short-term hookups. And although that's not what I'm looking for in a relationship, it's still interesting to see the behaviors of women and how they're subconsciously attracted to certain approaches and ways that men pick them up. And what's funky to me is it seems like it works on almost any woman. If it's properly executed, it's almost like no woman can resist it. That might be true. But there's also a part in the book at the end where he says there was this girl that he just could not get and he really wanted. And the reason he couldn't get it was because he was acting like a pickup artist. So it's irony, right? So once he started not acting like a pickup artist, it started to work out. And he could actually have a relationship, a long-term relationship. But these short-term relationships, they show what a woman is looking, what a woman fantasizes about, what her innate desires are, but they don't align with a long-term mate. So it's more up to the women of being mature. I'm already at 40 minutes. So it's a show of whether the woman is mature if she acknowledges you for who you are. If she yeah. If she falls for these pickup tactics. Is what I'll say. Next, want to ask out a girl in my class. Okay, I wrote this today. So there's this girl that I wanted to ask out in my class. Enough said. I don't know really what else to say. I mean, there's so much to say, but at the same time, like, do I really want to ask out a girl? This is okay, so this is what I was thinking about. Do I really want a girlfriend? Because I enjoy like going up to girls and just talking with them and like flirting with them. But then if I have a girlfriend, I can't do that anymore. And I lose all my prospects. Like I can't keep on searching. I can't optimize. I can't find the best because I've already committed to one. But at the same time you establish a long-term relationship and that is pleasant. But you always, as a guy, at least for me, I always feel like I can I can do a little bit better. Like I can pull someone even better. That might not be a healthy mindset to have, but nonetheless it's a mindset that I have. And I think a lot of guys can relate with this. So find comfort in me also thinking this way. I don't really know what to say. This isn't advice, it's just like my thoughts now at this point. Okay, next. I'm getting better at coming up with conversation starters. Yeah, so earlier, I can't remember what I mentioned, but oh yeah, Spotify Wrapped being a fantastic conversation starter. But I'm starting to get really good at conversation starters. You say something like a shower thought, and then that's how you open. So one of the things was my roommate actually said, I asked him like, what? How do you start a conversation? And he's like, "What's your favorite dinosaur?" I'm like, "What? That's random." But actually, you know what? That could work. And then later on, yesterday, I was watching some short form entertainment, and it in the short form entertainment, it said, "How would you ask out a girl?" And he said, "Well, you know, I tried saying, I've said, what's your favorite dinosaur before?" And I was like, "Yeah, you know what? I was right. I because I acknowledged it. I acknowledged that. Yeah, it could honestly work as a conversation opener." And the thing is, it doesn't really matter from reading the game and just in general from experience. It doesn't matter how you open. People don't remember that. People remember how it ends and how you acted and how confident you were, how your behavior. They don't really care about, oh, he opened with some lame tactic, some lame pickup joke. I mean, okay, they might remember that, but it generally doesn't matter as long as you show yourself after that. You just need your foot through the door and it doesn't matter how. But then once you're in, then you can present yourself and actually be that person. So don't be too caught up in how to start a conversation. That's what I'd say. But there are definitely some good ways to do it. Okay, I'll run through a few examples. Already at 44 minutes, damn it. Okay, so let's say you're at the gym. One thing, you generally want to avoid boring conversations, but you could still strike up boring conversations. You say, yeah, hey, the weather's been looking pretty nice today, but I don't need to explain why that's a boring one to you. Like, what? Who's Who strikes up the weather conversation? That's nasty. Unless it's a really bad day, like really snowy, just why weather, man? You could do so much better. So, one of the things, and it's all situational too. So, in the gym, just anything topical, anything relevant. And all of it is just like all of the thoughts that I have coming to my mind are just very, very specific on like what is actually happening. So if, yeah, like you could say if she's on cardio, like you would do something, you would say something different depending on what machine or maybe where you are located in it. And you could also so one thing that's happened in the Carlton gym is there was this census, a survey of getting a larger gym. So you could strike up a conversation about that. You could say, "Hey, I feel this gym is so busy all the time. Did you vote yes for the survey?" And now that's a few months away, so it doesn't make that much sense anymore. But you could still mention it because it's an ongoing project. They're still gonna continue building it, or they're on the mission to building it. That was a bit of a ramble. Right, I was gonna give more examples. We'll say outside. I like this one. Outside. Oh yeah. Outside. Just in the quad too. I think I mentioned. So I bring around a frisbee and I just ask people if they want to play frisbee. Like, hey, I'm gonna go play frisbee. Did you want to join me? And it's a lot of fun. People say yes. People are open to it. People appreciate this intention of being social and wanting to participate. And people want to participate in that. They want that university experience, just like me. But initializing that is a very masculine behavior, and people admire that too. Both men and women. What else? I mean, there are some situations where I'd have to think about it too. Like in class too, you can just ask, "What do you think of the professor?" Or "How is the assignment? How did you find the assignment last time? Last assignment?" Or you could generally, I've heard in the book, in the game, the book The Game, there was one who swears by saying statements rather than questions. You say, "That assignment was crazy difficult. That last assignment was crazy difficult. How did you do on it?" Yeah, that's how you open. I mean, you still ask a question, but at least you stated something. So it's not just interrogation. It's you provide something, and they can also. It's a dialogue. It's not a monologue. Yeah, that'd be honestly. It'd be fun if people just gave me situations and then I were to come up with conversation starters. And you can do some random conversation starters. I mean, you can just say shower thoughts. Say, like, look to the person to your right and just say, "Do you believe there's a God?" Like, that one's a bit deep. And I don't know if you could do it with everyone. No, you could do it with everyone. It's sure to be an interesting conversation, but it's a little bit controversial, so you want to approach it lightly. Though you do want to make assumptions. You want to say a statement, so you want to assume something about someone and then go off of it. So something like, "Hey, you look like you love traveling. Have you been to Spain?" or something like that. You could say something like that. And Charisma on Command says this too. He's given this advice too. Just shower thoughts. I mean, I'm not thinking of any shower thoughts really, other than just traveling, right? But hey, do you know any? Hey, I was learning Chinese. Do you think Chinese is the hardest language? I don't know. What is the hardest? What do you think the hardest language is? because I think Chinese might be the hardest. I was learning it and it was just insanely difficult. Things that are relevant to you. I mean, I say Chinese because I have been trying to learn Chinese. I love it when, and let's say it's a rainy day. I love it when it's a rainy day. It just feels so nostalgic, and I like that dark mood. It doesn't feel sad to me. It feels comforting almost. And then if you just say that statement, people, and you look at someone, oh, like don't just say it and not look at anybody. Well, you could just say it, and then somebody will be provoked to respond. You look at someone and they'll be inclined to respond. And then you can also gauge whether they're actually interested in continuing the conversation based off of their answer. If they just say yes, no, or yeah, me too, but unenthused and just look back at their phone or just put their earbud back in, then they're not interested. That's okay. There's 8 billion, 8 million, 8 trillion? Trillion? Is there really 8 trillion? Is there really 8 trillion? How many? 8 trillion people in the world? Wow, wait, there is? Oh my. 8 million? Billion. 8 billion. Right? Oh my goodness, my Wi-Fi is so slow. 1,000, million, billion. 8 billion. Okay. Okay. Not trillion. Shame. 8.2 billion people. Yeah. 8.2 billion people. Yeah, trillion would be ridiculous. Okay. Regardless. Oh, last one. I kind of have it. I've already answered this, but I'll say it anyways. Should you keep connections with friends that are far away? I would say you don't need to. It's too much effort on both ends unless that person is really similar to you or you have a special bond with them. Or obviously, if you intend on meeting up with them again. I mean, people that are far away from you and you don't ever intend on meeting up with them again, there's not much of a point on keeping, as brutal as that sounds, there isn't much point. But that's okay. It's more effort for you to keep that connection. And if it does spark up again, if you end up going to the same city for whatever reason, you can mention that and then you can grow that bond again. It's not completely lost. It's just faded and the connection is less strong. So I wouldn't feel sad about it or feel like you need to keep that conversation, keep that connection. If it fades, it fades. You can let it die. It's okay. And that's the end. Thoughts for the vault? Done. Yeah. So breakup advice tomorrow. Breakup advice for guys tomorrow. Yeah. Hopefully I'll do a video tomorrow about that and think about it. Keep it on my mind for today. For later. Damn. Wow. Almost 50. Oh my. Okay, I'll end it now.